Welcome back to Season 4 of CougZone. I'm Jerica DiAquisto.
And I'm Daniela Julio-Cano. Coming up, we have a WSN correspondent who spoke to WSU's newest football hire and a look into how training staff prepared for a potential disaster on the field or track.
And we have men's and women's basketball recaps and previews, as well as a shout out to some pro Cougs going to the Super Bowl. Coming up on
CougZone. The WSU men's basketball team welcomed both Arizona schools this past weekend. The 18-3 Wildcats faced the 9-13 Cougs last Thursday, and it was a close one. WSU is trying to ride a two-game skid, while Arizona was hoping to avenge that 74-61 loss in early January. But to start things off, Arizona jumped out to an early 6-0 run, but star forward Mohamed Gay slams one in along with a nice and one drop in late in the first half. Justin Powell drives and makes a contested layup to make it 30-23. In the second half, both teams kept it close, and the Wildcats were able to pull away with a 63-58 win. Here's what Coach Kyle Smith and the team had to say.
I thought that was really a competitive game, great atmosphere. I'm really proud of our fans that came out and enjoyed that, and just were disappointed we didn't play a little better. Didn't shoot the ball well, but our guys competed hard against a really good team, and we defended them well enough to win, give yourself a chance to win.
They came out and they just kept running their stuff. They stayed steady. Like I said, credit to them. They stayed steady the whole time. They didn't really break, and they're one of those teams that you gotta keep trying to turn them over and stuff like that.
Justin Powell and Mohamed Gay both turned in solid performances, scoring 15 points each. This loss put the Cougs on a 3-game losing streak until Saturday's game against ASU.
Yes, they did, Danny, and it was not close. Andre Yakomowski and Justin Powell and Mohamed Gay all helped the Cougs get the past Sun Devils 75-58. After being down 12-11 after the first 10 minutes, the Cougars started pouring it on. Powell splashed this three, ending that 7-point scoring run. Then again from the three, giving the Cougs a 17-12 lead. An offense surge and a 3-point mirage led to a 36-24 lead after the first half. Moving on to the second, WSU started off slow, but then more threes allowed the Cougs to pull away 73-58. Andre Yakomowski and Justin Powell put up dominating performances, scoring 22 and 20 points. Next week, men's basketball will take a trip to the City of Angels to take on UCLA and USC.
The road trip to LA will be a tough one. Both the Bruins and the Trojans are top 3 in the conference and have a combined 22-1 record at home. WSU will play at the Galen Center against the 15-6 Trojans on Thursday at 8 p.m. The game will be televised on Fox Sports 1. Then on Saturday, they will take on the 9th-ranked UCLA at 4 p.m. That game will be televised on Pac-12 networks.
Charlize Ledger-Walker returned to the WSU women's basketball team in Tempe, Arizona on Friday and helped the Cougs get back in the win column. It was anything but easy as the Cougs nearly lost to an Arizona State team that is yet to win a Pac-12 game. The Cougs failed to score a single field goal in the final 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but nailed 6 of the final 7 shots from the free-throw line. Ledger-Walker was away from the team for past week for the last 2 games because of family matter. In her return, she hit 2 3-pointers and scored 12 points. Tara Wallach led the way for the Cougs. The sophomore from South Surrey, Canada, scored 15 points on a 50% clip that included 2 3-pointers. She also snagged 11 rebounds, which equals her career high. In the final play of the game, Wallach saved the day with a key block to keep the Sun Devils at bay and secure a 61-57 Cougar victory. Their first win in Tempe against the Sun Devils in 10 years.
Due to her incredible coaching this season, Kamie Ethridge was named the ESPN.com Coach of the Week Monday afternoon. She has guided the Cougs to a 15-6 record and 2 AP wins. Ethridge and the team will play in Beasley Coliseum on Friday at 7 p.m. against number 2 ranked Stanford, then on Sunday versus Cal at 12 p.m.
Following the Cougars football season ending, WSU coach Jake Dickert have been busy gearing up for the next season after losing a number of staff members to other coaching jobs. Just within this past week, W announced the new hiring of wide receiver coach Nick Edwards. For more information on Coach Edwards, we send it to our WSU correspondent Luke Westfall.
Thanks, Jerica. I'm outside the Cougar football complex where new Cougar coach Nick Edwards has started his role as the team's wide receiver coach. I had a chance to speak to Nick Edwards, who also has a long track record in the industry. He, of course, started as a very successful wide receiver at Eastern Washington, earning All-American honors in the FCS and winning a championship and playing on multiple NFL teams' practice squads. He then became the wide receiver coach at Eastern Washington, coaching two very successful NFL wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Kendrick Bourne. Cooper Kupp was quoted saying that Nick Edwards sees the game better than just about any coach he has ever had. He also has worked at Cal Berkeley and as the offensive coordinator for Cal Poly before last year. He had a role as an offensive assistant with the Atlanta Falcons. He said that having a role in the NFL and being a wide receiver in his past allows him to understand the mentality that he wants from his wide receivers and to understand the fundamentals of the position and then relay those to his wide receivers. He said that his three fundamentals of coaching are competitiveness, confidence, and toughness. And he said that because he has coached around the NFL and had some time to play in the NFL, that he knows what it takes to get there, and he is confident that he will be able to relay that to his wide receivers. Now sending it back to the desk.
Thanks, Luke. Along with Coach Edwards, WSU has also announced the hiring of new offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle and new defensive coordinator Jeff Schmedding. According to the Daily Evergreen, Coach Arbuckle's Western Kentucky University offense led the nation in explosive plays of 20-plus yards last season, with 98, which is 10 more than any other school. Western Kentucky University was also 6th in the nation in total offense with 497.3 yards per game and 15th in scoring with 36.4 points per game last season. Coach Schmedding, a Spokane native, was the defensive coordinator for Auburn last season and previously coached at Boise State and Eastern Washington University. WSU and Coach Dickert hope these new coaches can help push their team to be competitive in a Pac-12 conference that is getting better by the day.
WSU football coaches are readying themselves for the upcoming season. But what about the medical staff? What are they doing to keep the players safe on the field? In track, WSUN correspondent Alex Huddleston with this story.
On the cold night of January 2nd, the world of athletics was put on hold. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field of play after tackling Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Athletic trainers from each side acted quickly, performing CPR on the unconscious Hamlin, which eventually led to his full recovery at a local hospital. The athletic training department here at WSU, led by Casey Hildenbrand, is well prepared for emergency situations such as the Damar Hamlin event.
Emergency action plans are something that our students are very well versed in. Every location, every event has an emergency action plan.
According to Kira McDonnell, a third year in the program, these emergency action plans are an accumulation of multiple different skill sets practiced by the students on a daily basis.
We practice things like emergency procedures and CPR and AED utilization over and over and over again until we get to the point where if something happens, we're not really worried about the crowd. We're not really worried about how high stakes it is or that the TV or the cameras are on us. We can focus and calmly make sure that we're providing the best, high level care to the person that's injured.
You know, when an athlete goes down, and the athletic trainers will fix you up. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Wesley Tran is a first-year student in the program. He currently is working as the athletic trainer for the WSU rowing team. Tran says that as a first year, he is already getting hands-on training.
As a first year in the program, we were starting to learn how to communicate with the athletes, work modalities with athletes, and work with our superiors, like any certified athletic trainers and the physicians that we work around, and getting more exposed into the field.
Hildenbrand believes that with the open media coverage of the Damar Hamlin case, it may help shed some light on the importance of athletic trainers.
I think the opportunity is for people to realize the importance of athletic trainers. And, you know, a lot of times they're like, oh, you just tape ankles and hand out water. And we do. We know how to brace, and tape and appropriately deal with, orthopedic injuries. We can also make sure that you're properly hydrated and do that sort of stuff. But we're also there in case things go really wrong.
To many sports fans, the heroes wear jerseys. However, the real Capes Crusaders are those who stand on the sideline or benches, waiting to jump into action in the case that one of our heroes goes down. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Alexander Huddleston.
WSU track and field has been giving an individual awards, and others have broken records in the past few weeks. Elena Stone Boggs was named a USTF CCCA Academic Individual honoree last week. Mason Lawyer has set 2 freshman records for the 200-meter and the 60-meter. Maribel Vernanza won her 2nd consecutive 60-meter hurdles after notching her first win as a Coug at the Cougar Classic. Earlier this month, the team will be heading up to Spokane this weekend to compete in the WSU Classic.
Over the weekend, WSU women's tennis team traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia for the opening rounds of the 2023 ITA Kickoff Weekend, hosted by the University of Virginia. The Cougars battled, but Northwestern came on top with a 4-1 victory Saturday evening in the consolation match of the 2023 ITA Kickoff Weekend at Boar's Head Tennis Club. With that loss, the Cougars score falls to 2-2, and the Northwestern goes up to 3-1 this season. The Cougars will go against BYU when they travel to Utah this Saturday and hopefully make up for this tough loss this weekend.
With the NFL season coming to a wrap soon, we would like to highlight our Pro Cougs who made immense impacts across teams around the league. First, on our Pro Cougs Rookie Watch, tackle Abraham Lucas of the Seattle Seahawks and defensive back Jalen Watson of the Kansas City Chiefs greatly exceeded expectations. Lucas was named to the NFL's all-rookie first team and placed 3rd in sacks allowed amongst all tackles. Watson has recorded 3 career interceptions this season, 1 pick six against the Los Angeles Chargers, and another this past weekend against the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship game to help his team reach Super Bowl 57. Also Super Bowl bound are 2 more Pro Cougs, quarterback Gardner Minshew and tackled Andre Dillard, who are both serving as backups for the Philadelphia Eagles. This past season also saw Pro Coug contributions from safety Jalen Thompson of the Arizona Cardinals and receiver River Craycraft of the Miami Dolphins. And now we will go to Ryan Watson for our Coug Outlook.
Yes, thank you, Danny. WSU's track and field team continues its indoor schedule with an invitational of their own that'll be held this weekend in Spokane. The WSU Invitational will be held at the multi-sportsplex known as the Podium. The meeting will start on Thursday and end Saturday evening. Men's basketball looks to capitalize off an upset win over the Sun Devils when they head down to SoCal to take on both the Trojans and the Bruins. The Cougs are seeking wins number 11 and 12 overall and number 6 and 7 in conference play as they continue their journey back to a 500 win percentage. Tip-off against USC is scheduled for 8 p.m. Thursday night. The Cougs will then take on the Bruins Saturday at 4 p.m. The Cougar swim team will host their 4th and final home meet this Friday at Gibb Pool. The team will have the opportunity to go out on a high note as they host their neighborhood rivals, the Idaho Vandals. The swim meet will start this Saturday at 5 p.m. WSU tennis continues a long and lengthy road trip as they head south to take on the other Cougars from BYU. After winning the first 2 meets in Pullman, they fell short as their last 2 contests against 8th-ranked Virginia and Northwestern last weekend. The tennis team seeks its first win on the road since starting the season in mid-January. The match time is scheduled for 11 a.m. this Saturday. That's it this week for your Coug Outlook. Back to Daniela and Jerica at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. That's it for this week. And I just want to say I went to the game on Saturday, and I was super stoked about how good our defense played in our basketball game. I think they had a lot of block shots right at the rim too, and they were just throwing down threes. So what are you excited for this year at the season?
Obviously, I'm a big basketball fan, so it's always good to see high competition, especially when it comes to rivals. So very excited for when Apple Cup Series comes.
I think it'll be good. So for more conversations like this and exactly what you watched today, follow us on Wazoo Sports Network on Instagram and Wazoo Sports Network on Twitter. Check out Cable 8's YouTube for more WSN content, and see you back here on CougZone.
Come.